Welcome back. So in the previous video, we have seen the bar graphs. Another important, the kind of graph or graphical representation, which will be very helpful, especially when you want to understand the frequency distribution or trying to understand how data is distributed. So in such a cases, we will be using histogram rather than bar graphs. I'm reiterating the definition of histogram. Histogram is nothing but a graphical representation that shows how data is distributed. How is it represented? It is also again represented by rectangles, similar to that of a bar graphs. But the difference is in the bar graph, can you see a difference? Can you see some space in between these bars? Okay. And the height of the bar is significant in case of a bar chart, while in histograms, both the width as well as height, or in short, I can say the entire area of the graph will tell me about the frequency distribution of the graph. So, histogram can be said as it is a two-dimensional. Why two-dimensional? Because area of it is mattering. The width of it as well as height together contributes or it tells you more information. While in the bar chart, the width do not have any significance, only the height has significance. Right? Very in simple words. So there is a gap in between these bars in case for bar chart, while in histogram you will not have this gaps. It will be continuous. There are different kinds of a histogram. There is one website called Code Academy, right? So which defines the different histograms like this. Okay, they call it as unimodal distribution, where the modality is so unimodal distribution is nothing but a histogram, where is one there is only one distinct peak which indicates the most frequent value in the data, right? So this is one kind of a distribution. This is called as histogram. As you can observe, like there is absolutely no lines, no space between the bars. It is actually a set of bars, right? So there can be another kind of a histogram which is called as left skewed data set, where there is a long left tail. This is called as tail part. This part is called as long left tail. Okay, some prominent peaks towards the right. Such kind of histograms are called as left skewed histograms or the data set. And another one is multimodal, right? As you can see, like there are more than two peaks, right? If there are only two peaks, we call it as bimodal. If there are more than two peaks, we call it as multimodal, right? I was telling about bimodal distribution. Then finally, how does a uniform data set look like? It looks like this, right? So there is a lot of information available on this site. Please visit this site to understand more, right? There is also right skewed where the tail is on the right side and there is a prominent value on the left. So this is called a symmetric distribution where on either sides of the mean, you have an equal distribution of data, right? So like this, there are different histograms available. Please visit this Code Academy website to know more about the histograms. Let's try implementing this. Let's try again. I'll copy the same thing. NumPy as NP and matplotlib, pyplot as plt. Then what I will do is I will initialize a variable which is x is equal to np dot random dot normal. I'll put. Okay, this is called as data distribution is normal. Okay, which is uniform, which is Gaussian style. Okay, the one which I showed you in the first graph, if you remember, this was a normal distribution or a Gaussian distribution, right? So we are trying to generate something like this, right? So in order to do that, so the keyword is normal. Then I'll say like 5. 5, it indicates that 5 is the peak value, and the other values can vary with the standard distribution of 1. How many such values do I want to generate? Say I'll say 10,000. 10,000 values I will generate. Then, in order to draw the histogram, I will use PLT dot histogram. HIST is the keyword for histogram. What do I want to plot? I want to plot X. How many such bars I want? I want 10 bars. Say, I will make it 100 instead of 10. Then I will say PLT dot show. You can play with this graph. You can garnish this graph, right? So you can change these values. So what I'll do is instead of 10,000, I will make it 1 lakh. You can see the graph. So there are 1 lakh bars, right? So I'll change this value. You can see this. So essentially what is histogram? Histogram is another kind of a graphical representation that will help us to understand how data is distributed. Right. So these are the majority of the graphs we have covered in these videos. We have studied about histograms. We have studied about pie charts. We have studied about bar charts, then line, scatter plot. We have studied all these kind of a graphs. How do we plot them? What is the use of matplotlib? Right. Hope you enjoyed this set of videos. Okay. See you in the next set of videos with another important library, which will be extensively used for data science applications and machine learning applications. See you in the next video. Thank you.